Hey folks, it is Carrie with Trail Traveler, and I'm carrying a big green stick today. What is this thing? It is the BougeRV outdoor portable camping lantern. Yeah, it's a camping lantern. It's from BougeRV. Let's get into it. This is a pretty interesting unit in a number of different ways. It's rechargeable, like, it should be, and it has some interesting different modes on it. But let's talk about the basic functionality here. You have 4 lights that open up, and they're all rotatable. So you have about 270 degrees on each one. So each one can open up, flip around. Let's turn that one, flip that one down, and we'll flip that one up. So you can have a wide variety of different configurations to put this in depending on your output needs. If you want a pretty small area of light, well, first off, you can just turn one of the lights on. You don't need to have all of them on. You can do 1, 2, 3, or all 4. So you can just have one light on. Not a big deal. Point it down, have a small area. Point it up more, get a wider area. Get all of these up, and you can cover a huge area with this thing. The output on this is pretty insane. It does a great job. In fact, it's so much light, I have never turned all 4 of them on other than for testing. Now, on top of that, you also have a flashlight mode at the end. So when we turn it on, we have a nice amber light, and then we can hit the mode button and switch to a cooler light or kind of a hybrid in between the two. If I point it right at the camera, I'm going to go black, so we're not going to do that. And so you have 3 different modes on 4 different lights. So they're all going to be the same, but you have 4 lights. So you can adjust the brightness just by having 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them on. And then on top of that, you have 9 brightness levels. So a lot of control over how much light you're putting out. Hold it down. Let's turn it off. Okay, we're now off. Inside, it has a 13,400 milliamp hour battery. So this has pretty much lasted me, 3-4 days of camping, using it for a few hours a night on a pretty low setting. I usually only have 1 light on the white when we're inside the tent, and I'm using that to work. I'm using that to do my basic things at night that I need to get done. I used it as a studio light when I was a guest on a show remotely using Starlink. I just used this as my studio light on me. It worked really great. So on top of all that, the lights have 2 different kind of SOS flashing modes if you're trying to get someone's attention. And on the back, we have 2 USB ports. We have a USB-C for charging and a USB-A that'll put out 5 volts at 2.4 amps or 12 watts. Not super powerful, but it's enough to, maybe put a little charge on a phone if need be. Okay, keep going. All right, on the bottom, we have a 1/4-20. So we have a 1/4-20 thread on here, so we can attach this to any standard tripod. If we really wanted to get this thing up in the air, we could. By itself, it extends 43.3 inches, and it has a base that opens up. Let's get that base nice and open. There we go. So it's pretty stable on its base, and the light goes up, like I said, 43 inches. But from the ground, you see, it's really not that high. So for a camp area light, by itself, it's not going to really do the job unless you put it on a table or something that's higher, or put it on a tripod, in which case you can take it up as, pretty darn high. Now, since we're talking about the legs, or the base here, we got the 1/4-20 on the bottom. We got the 4 legs that each have 2 holes in them that you can put tent stakes into to help hold this to the ground. It even comes with them. So you could really secure this down if this was in some wind. But again, since it's not 9 feet up in the air, it's probably not that big of a deal. I don't use it for that purpose. But what's also cool is on each of the legs, there is a little rubber pad that underneath it has a magnet. Now, I don't think it's strong enough to hold it sideways, but when this is sitting on my trailer, it certainly keeps it nice and sturdy. I have no complaints about that at all. Now, can it be out in the rain? Well, not just can it be out in the rain, you could take this through a frickin' brushless car wash. It is IPX5 rated, which means it's protected against high pressure water stream from any angle. So you could literally blast this with a pressure washer and it's not going to take any damage. So from that perspective, yes, it can be out in the rain, the snow, the sleet, the hail, you name it, it can be in it. If you drop it in a river, you drop it in a stream, you drop it in some mud, you drop it in the snow, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Let's talk about size real quick. It is 2.95 by 2.95 by 11.22. I don't recall exactly how much it weighs, but it's probably like 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds, something. It's pretty light, but it packs up nicely, being this kind of square. It doesn't roll around anywhere. You're not going to put it down and have it roll off somewhere, so I like that. Let's talk about some, what I would consider the negatives on it. And one is, I wish it took a charge faster. If this thing is fully depleted, it's going to take about 5 hours for it to charge. That's a bit long. I wish it could take higher wattage and charge in, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. 5 hours to fully charge it. Not that big of a deal because I'm not charging it, all the time. And really, I just put it, when we go to leave camp, I plug it in. As we go from location to location and we get to the next spot, it's fully charged. So I don't really think about it. I've never run out of power with it, so it's not that big of a deal. But to me, the biggest downside is there's no way of doing remote control. There's no little clicker that comes with it. There's no app. And I think an app for this would really, really take this to the next level. Something that I like to do is to have a light outside in the campground that I can turn on remotely from inside the tent. Now, the reason for this is intruders, whether it be human, whether it be a bear or mountain lion, what have you. If something starts to walk into our campground at night and you flip on a bright light, whatever that thing is, has a tendency to go away. They know that you're there. If it's a human, they know they're there. They know you're awake. They know you can see them. They tend to leave. If it's an animal and you hit them with a light in the middle of the night, that's not normal. So they're going to turn around and leave. So from a safety point of view, I like having a light outside that has a remote control. Now, fortunately, I already have one, so it's not that big of a deal. And honestly, I don't prefer this as being my outdoor light because it, like I said, by itself, it doesn't extend that high. And it's just so portable. When we're just sitting around the table, it's our little table light. We can play cards, we can do everything. It's right there, it's super handy, very adjustable. I like it for a table light. When we're in the tent, it's our inside light, and we can adjust the brightness inside there. If I need to just, clean up or do some things, I don't want a lot of light on, I turn it way down. If I need more light because I'm, tying lures onto my fishing line, I can turn the light up. If I'm on a guest or doing a recording, I can turn the light on and make it appropriate for what I want to do. So for me, this is not my outdoor camp area light. This is my up close and personal, right next to us light. And for that, I think that fits this purpose perfectly. Let's talk about price. When I got this, BougeRV did send this to me to try out because it was a new product they were releasing, and at the time I believe this was set at $99.99. More recently, I have seen it for $95. But as of this recording, which is mid-February, on Amazon it is $82.03. I know it's a weird price, $82.03, but got to be some percentage. For that, I think this is an excellent bargain. When you're looking at other lights that are, $250, $299, and this one's $80, and you have this level of control, this level of flexibility. I've had this thing on the ground with the lights pointed up, working up underneath the Jeep. Love it for that. We're installing a new winch on the Gladiator. I need to get up underneath and see. I just flipped the light on and pointed it up, and it worked great. So as a work light, portable light, a table light, a tent light, this thing nails it. Absolutely nails it. There is LED indicators on the front, tell you how much battery it's got, and while it's charging, how much is left to charge. So, do I recommend it? Absolutely. I think this is a great light. I would recommend this for anybody. Other than not having a remote control, there's really no downside. But my Devos light, which is double the price of this, has no remote control either. So there's that. I think it's a good deal. Check it out. If you're looking for a camp light and what I've told you fits your checklist, then check it out. BougeRV. They make some good products. We have one of their fridges. We're getting some other products from them. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they come out with this year. So thanks for watching, everybody. This is Kerry. Stay safe out there and keep the lights on, and we'll see you on the trails.